Hey man, say man, it's Mr. Spencer back at it again with another what? Math video. All right, Kipsters. So we are going to continue our learning from our lesson focus or the try it from the previous slide. I'm going to read it. It says, Paul has 3/4 inch long bolts. He buys a bolt that is 1/8 inch longer and a bolt that is 1/8 inch shorter than the 3/4 inch bolt. What are the lengths of the two bolts he buys? So as we identified from the previous slide, whoa, as we identified from the previous slide, we're going to be adding and subtracting 1/8 from 3/4. I'm glitching over here. I feel like I'm in the matrix. What's going on? All right. So if you see on your screen what I did, I actually listed out the multiples of 4 and 8. And if you take a look, I underlined the LCM or the least common multiple, which is actually 8. All right. So what I have to do now, after I listed the multiples and found the least common multiple, I have to find equivalent fractions. So how do I find equivalent fractions? I know that 8 is my least common multiple. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw an 8 over here. And that tells me that is going to be the new denominator. And that's an ugly 8, but we're going to keep it. That's going to be our new denominator. So I'm looking, my original fraction is 3/4. 4, I'm going to start with my denominator. 4 times what gives me 8? I know that 4 times 2 gives me 8. And 8 is also the second multiple of 4. You take a look. So back to my fraction when I'm creating equivalent fractions. Whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. So 3 times 2 multiplying across gives me 6. Okay. So 6/8 is equivalent to 3/4. Take a look at that. My second fraction, 1/8, 8 is my least common multiple. So I know that my new fraction, if there is a new fraction, is going to have a denominator of 8. 8 times what gives me 8? 8 times 1 gives me 8. And I know that also because 8 is the first multiple of 8 when you list them out. So if I multiply the bottom times 1, the top times 1 is going to give me 1/8. So 1/8 is equivalent to 1/8. And you're like, Mr. Spencer, you didn't even have to do that. It's still the same fraction. That is correct, but I just want to show you how I arrived at 1/8. All right, so now we got our new fractions, 6/8 and 1/8. So looking back at the lesson focus, there were two words that I wanted to key in on. It said longer and shorter. Longer than 3/4 and shorter than 3/4. So if it's longer than 3/4, we're going to add 1/8 to 3/4, or our equivalent fraction, which is 6/8. So I'm going to take my 6/8, 6/8 plus 1/8. Remember, I know that I'm adding because it said longer, and longer means more, and more in math means adding, okay? So 6, I'm going to add across because my denominators are the same, and when we have like denominators, we can just add or subtract normally, right? So 6 plus 1 is 7, and the denominator is going to stay the same when you're working with like denominators. So 7/8, that is going to be the length of the longer. I'm going to put an L for longer, put an L for longer. Now we have to find the difference. What is 1/8 minus, or 6/8 minus 1/8? I'm going to try it again. So we got 6/8 minus 1/8. And just like we did with the addition to the left-hand side, the denominators are the same. So if the denominators are the same, you can just subtract across as we normally would. So I have 6/8 minus 1/8. I know my denominator is going to stay the same because they're like denominators. And then if I subtract normally, 6 minus 1 gives me 5/8. So this is going to be the length of the shorter screw. So I'm going to put S for short, S for short. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we have it. If you were paying attention, you're like, man, this is exactly what we did last week. Absolutely right. We're following the same steps. List multiples to find the least common multiple, create equivalent fractions, set it up, and subtract. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope this visual model helped us out today. As always, I'm going to look forward to making us some more videos that we can be modeled by. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, peace.